Good, 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 good. This question. Abigail, a jump, man. So that's question 12 or so. Good. Yes, this very one. Question 13. Okay, jump, man. So that's the question.
Okay, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
You have it there.
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, okay, then that's fine. If you have it, then I will probably. Now let's read through and see. Let's go through the requirement. It says that calculate the purchases figure for each month from October 2017 to December 2017. I believe this is what we did last week, right?
Yes.
Yes, the purchases figure. So do you have them there, or we have to reproduce them?
No, we did it.
Is that?
So we did last.
You have it, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we'll move on to the next one. Now the next question says that prepare cash budget on monthly basis and in total for the month of October 2017 to December 2017. So that's cash budget. So that is it. Now, before I solve this question, I'll walk you through the intro of cash budget, what you need anytime you're solving cash budget question. So for cash budget question, we will start like this. So cash budget. What goes into it? Only two items, your receipts and payments you are done. So the period that you are preparing it for. So probably if it's months or quarters. So period 1. So period 1, period 2. So 1 will be here, and then 2 add to the last period, the budget periods. So that's good. You start with your receipts. All your receipts. Now with the receipts, but I have classified them into 3. Always look for the question 3. If they are not there, you move on. So the first receipt you have to consider is the cash sales. Cash sales. So the proportion of the sales which been received instantly, that's the cash sales. So much. Don't forget your currency. Good. Then the next receipt that you have to look at for in the question will be cash received from credit customers. So cash received from credit customers. It's a bit troublesome. Oh yes, a bit troublesome. Normally, I advise you have to do that one last. So that's it.
That will be the last one that I will do.
This one,
okay,
and then this. Good. Then you go to other, or I call it unique receipts or other receipts. So examples are any loan that you are going to receive for the year, any amount you are going to receive, which is not coming from your direct trading, your sales. So grants received, maybe you are going to dispose of some of your assets and get some money, some of your fixed assets. So that is it. So that one is unique. It's not always, not continuous. So probably the middle month, dash. Then you total it to get a total receipt for the period. So total receipt for the period. Good. So that is it. Then you start. You start with the payment. So payment. For payment to, you start with the payment. Payment to, there are 4 instead of 3. Payment, there are 4. First, cash purchases. Cash purchases. Cash purchases. Good. So that one too, so much, so much, so much. Then you move on to cash paid to suppliers. Cash paid to suppliers. So much, so much.
So the cash basis is more like a direct cash that you are buying from. So the cash basis is like direct cash. Then cash basis. The cash basis.
Yes. Yes, it's a
like
direct cash that you pay when you acquire the goods. Maybe your goods.
Okay.
You pay some instantly and then you credit the remaining balance. So the part that you pay instantly,
Okay.
that's the cash purchases. Most questions don't normally bring it. Most questions. Yes, most of the exam questions, you won't be seeing it in. So that's it. Good. Then you go to expenses paid. Expenses paid. Good. Please. They may bring expenses incurred. So take note. We don't want expenses incurred. We want expenses paid. So if there's any non-cash items or any of the expenses which has been added or subtracted from this figure, we have to reverse it. So examples are non-cash item. Now, non-cash item, such as depreciation, provisions, bad debt, all of these are non-cash, but it has been incurred. What do? We take it off and get a paid version. So we want the expenses paid. Good. So that is it. Okay. Then you go to, I can probably give an example of the expenses paid, wages and salary, admin, distribution, interest, and then the other ones. Good. Let me go to unique. Unique payment. Unique payment. Yeah, it is not always. It's like one off. Some of the expenditures or the payments, you don't incur them every day. You incur them as and when the need arise. So that's all. When you are done, you total all the payments. So here is the total receipts. Total receipts. Good. Then we go to the total payment. Go to total payment. We sum it up. Now watch carefully how we are going to do the balancing. Yes. So there are other types, but this is the method that we want. Good. So how do you get, here you write surplus or deficit. Surplus slash deficits. So the receipts figure the total of receipts less the total of payment. So if the receipts are more than the payment, I have what you call surplus. So when I go to the second period, total of the receipts less the total of what? Payment. Then I'll get, probably if the payment is more, that will be what? Deficit. So deficit, put
deficit. Okay.
Come here like this, and then you put this one here too, nicely. Then you are done. Then you bring the open balance of your cash. So open balance. How do you get the open balance? It will be in the question. The very first budgeted period or the closing balance of the previous period. So open balance for the first period, they'll give it to you. You bring it here, you add. Then you get a closing balance. Then you close the account nicely. You get closing balance. Good. So now you do this continuously. So you push this one here, As what? Open balance.
Opening balance. Okay.
As open balance. Good. And you'll be doing it like that until you are done. So that's the end of cash budgets. So this is how we want the cash budget. Yes, because this style will help you to analyze this deficit and these surpluses. Yes, probably they can ask you to analyze your cash budget. You can make a decision out of this. Now, if you know that you're going to get a surplus and that surplus is too huge, now you can invest it. If you know that you're going to get a deficit, you have to find ways of financing the deficit, making arrangements ahead of time. So that will probably save you and reduce the cost and the burden. So basically, this is the format that we want for cash budget. So now let's go to this question and then use the same. So anytime you read a question and it's cash budget, just picture this format and then we're looking for it whilst we're reading the items. So now let's see. Good. So let's see the question. Good. So Abigail Echampuma. Prior cash budget. And in total, for the period of October 2017 to December 2017. Now let's see. Abigail Champmai is in the process of preparing budget for the period October to December 2017. The following information has been provided to assist in budgeting process. Good. Budgeted monthly sales revenue is as follows. So October sales is there, 40,000, November, December, January 2018, 45,000. Now, second note, sales are 20% cash and 80% credit. Yes, good. Now, which means that the cash sales will be 20% of the total sales, this section. So that is it. Good. So you get it. Now let's move on. Now, credit sales are collected over a 3-month period. 15% in a month of sales, and 70% in a month following sales, and 15% in the second month following sales. Bad debts of 5% are anticipated on all credit sales. Now, be with me for this question. Let's see how they studied the bad debt. And here, anytime they give you the question, test the bad debt. Yes. Test and see whether it's a terrible one. You see. So for this question, first 15% in the same month. Second payment, 70% in the next month. Third payment, 15% in the second month after sales. Now, kindly add them if you get 100. If you add and you get 100 and there's bad debt in the question, you are in trouble. When you add, you get 100.
Yes.
Good. It is 100. Now, when it is 100 and then there are still bad debts in the question, you are in trouble. Yes. Because in that question, you cannot throw away the bad debts. So, when you add until the answer is 100%. Answer is 100%. And still there's bad debt in the question, which is 5%. It means that the bad debt is on all credit sales. It's on all credit sales. And a good examiner should let you know. But whether that statement is there or not, so long as when you sum up the total, when you sum up the payment patterns, they add up to 100, then it means automatically the bad debt is on all the credit sales. So take note. But if you sum up, and probably it's like 95%. 95%. Let us make here 10%. So this is 95. And so there's bad debt of what? 5%. That makes it 100. This one, good news. This question like this, they are not difficult at all. Now you can even ignore the bad debt because the bad debt is the remainder, and we don't need it. It's non-cash item. So the remainder should be thrown away. So that one, even if you don't calculate the bad debt 5%, no trouble for you. So take notes. Okay. So now you see that the bad debt is a troublesome one, and it will affect your cash received from credit customers. So that's good.
I have a question.
Okay. Ask.
The where they said sales are 20% of cash.
You said?
And then it says sales are 20% cash.
Yes.
And 80% credit. Oh, okay. I get it now.
Okay.
And it says credit sales are collected over 3 months period.
So it is the credit component. It is the 80% that we are going to receive from the terms, not the entire.
Ah, okay.
Good. So the 20% will be the cash component, and that will be instantly. We receive instantly. Okay. So that one will be a cash sales. Good.
Okay.
So when we start the bad debt calculation, or when we start the cash received from credit customer, you will see that. And now the last thing that I'll do.
Okay.
Is the total sales revenue in August amounting to, I guess it's 30,000. Currently it's 30,000. Okay. How do you see that?
Yes.
Yes. So make the correction for me. It's 30,000, not something of something. So 30,000 in September. So September says 30,000. And total sales revenue, sorry, let me take it again. Total sales revenue in August amounting to 30,000. Mm-hmm. And then September total sales revenue amounting to 36,000. So good news. When the payments are made 2 months, they have to give us 2 months previous. So we are preparing for October. So they have to count back 2 months. So October counting back will be August, September, August. Good. So they have to give us September, August sales so that we can lock it. The part of the September and August sales that will be received in when? In October and November. So that is it. Good. And let's move on. Cost of sales is expected to be 60% of sales revenue each year. So 60% as we saw last week. Now, the business maintained its closing inventory at level at 75% of the following month's cost of sales. So that one to help us to know the purchase figure as we did last week. So good news. Inventory at the beginning of October is expected to amount to 18,000. We saw this last week. 50% of inventory purchase is paid in a month of purchases. And then the remaining 50% is paid for in a month following purchases. As at 30th September 2017, amount owed for purchases is 11,700. So this 11,700 is the second half of the purchases in September, which will be paid in when? October, the budget period. Now, you knowing the budget period is very important. Other than that, you end up doing a lot of unnecessary items because you may end up even opening for August, October. No, we don't need August and October. The budget period is October, November, and then December. So take note. Okay. Now the next note says that second-hand van, which cost 8,000 3 years ago, is expected to be sold in December 2017 for 3,000. At this time, the expected net book value of the van is 1,008. All this one we are just testing understanding on cash item and non-cash item. Which of these three figures is what? A cash flow. So it's the proceeds. How much do you sell the asset for? 3,000. So that is it. So the 8,000, the 1,008 should be ignored, not at all. You know, in management studies or in exam questions, overflow of information is allowed. Overflow of information is allowed. It's just a matter of you picking or selecting what you need to solve the question. Sometimes not all information given to you will help you to solve the question. It will lead you to danger, getting it wrong. So that is it. Now the next note states that equipment costing 4,500 will be purchased and paid for in November. But these two notes are the unique items. So paid for in November. The equipment will be depreciated on straight line basis over 3 years. So depreciation, if you go and calculate it, we won't mind you because depreciation is non-cash item. Except for if they have calculated it and added it wrongly, then we have to reverse it. Now let's see the last but one note. It states that operating expenses are paid as incurred. These have been estimated as follows. Good. Paid as incurred. So October will be settled in October, November, and December too in December. So that is it. The above figures include depreciation on existing assets of 2,000 per month. So depreciation, we know that it's non-cash item. It said the above figures include depreciation of the existing. They've already calculated the depreciation for you, which is 2,000 per month. So what do? We take it off because we want the expenses paid but not incurred. This is the incurred. Good. So take note. Now the last note will be the cash balance on October is expected to amount to be 8,000. So that's the opening cash balance, right?
Yes.
Good. So I hope you get it. Now let's start the game. Good. So before I've done the thing again, market not coming. Good.
Why did you open it down?
You said?
I was asking whether you open it down. Why you open it?
Just right now. Good. I think it's gonna work for us. So we'll start Abigail. Abigail Champman. That's the name of the question. Good. So how we can see from this angle. Let's do our workings somewhere here. Let me see where will be appropriate for our workings. Good. These bits new for our workings. It's only easy to go there. Let's see. So Abigail. Or example. Good. That's the name of the question. Then we will say cash budget. Cash budget for the months of October, November, and finally December. Good. I hope you can see from that angle.
Yes, I can see. Yes, I can see.
It's clear, right?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, that's fine. Now we will start. Don't forget your currency, the reporting currency. The reporting Ghanaian cedis. So we start from receipts. So let's go to the question and list all the receipts. First, cash sales, as usual, the format. So cash sales. Now they say cash sales are 20% of the sales. So what do? We pick 20% of all the sales. So what is the sales for October? 20% of it. Now let's see.
The sales for October is 40,000.
Good. So that is 40,000. So 20% of 40,000, that will give us
20%.
8,000, right?
Yes.
Good. And then what is the sales for the month of November?
Yes. 1,000.
70,000, right?
The 70,000 will be 14,000.
Good. So 14,000. 20% of 70,000. That's 14,000. And sales for December is what? 50,000. So 20% of
10,000.
Good. That's 10,000. So, but we'll just be picking the free marks and then leave the difficult one for the examiner himself. Oh yes, you have to leave it for him. We are not the one who said the question. So, good. Cash paid. Sorry, this is on the cash paid. Cash received, right? From credit
from
customer.
supplies.
Cash received from credit customer. That one, leave it. Please do that one last. If you cannot do the cash received from customer, that does not mean you can't do the remaining part. Leave it and do it last. Good.
Okay.
So I'll leave it here too. Then I'll go to the unique receipts. So through the question, is there any form of receipt that we are going to receive which is not coming from cash sales?
Yes.
So there is, right? Which one?
The vehicle, the van. A second van.
Van.
A second-hand van, which cost 8,000. Yes, so
3,000. 8,000 3 years ago we sold for
3,000.
Okay, 3,000. So in when?
December.
December. Good. So dash December 3,000. No, let's call it a name. That's the proceeds.
Unique.
The proceeds from disposal, right? Good.
Yes.
Now we dash and then 3,000. Good. Is there any other unique receipt from this question?
No.
Okay, good. If there's no other receipt, what we do, just sum it up, and then we get the total receipt. So just right now, but it's total receipt. If you should have this stubborn guy in here, we can total. So now leave it. You go to payment. When you finish everything and you feel like still you cannot get it out, what do? Just add your date of birth to it and submit. Oh yes. That's the nicest figure that you have. That's the date of birth.
Yes.
So once everybody have date of birth, just add it to it and then that's all. Leaving it empty may be an eyesore. So take notes. That's it. So total receipts. You will leave it for the meantime. Then you go to payment. Now when you go to payment, you list all the payments in a question to as well. So first, do you have cash purchases? The goods that they acquire, they pay them instantly.
Yes, I'm coming.
Or it was on credit basis.
Yeah, on credit basis.
Good, you're on credit basis. That you have to go and do workings for it. And that one too.
Yes, please.
If you think it will worry you, you have to also leave that one too and come and do that one last. So all working should be done last. Pick all the free figures. In fact, and now when you come, you're going to do the thinking one. If time is not there, leave it, go to the next one. We mark the entries for you. So
okay.
Come to cash paid the supplier. I'll do that one last.
Yeah.
Any other? Let's go to expenses paid.
And then
we have expenses paid, right?
And then no, we have it's two types. So we have cash paid, cash purchases as well. Cash purchases. Cash purchases.
There's cash purchases.
Because it's saying that you pay 50% of the amount in the month in which the items were bought.
Okay. 50% in the month of purchases. It suggests that
yes,
it's still on credit.
Oh, okay.
Probably you pay it at the end of the month.
Okay.
If it's cash, we'll tell you that purchases is 20% cash, 80% credit. And in the credit, you pay part in the same month. How we get it?
Yes, please.
So we have to go and do workings for it. Good. Normally, we don't normally include the cash purchases. So now let's go to expenses paid.
Okay.
Expenses paid. So the expenses incurred, we knock all the non-cash items from it, and then we get it paid. So how we get it? So
Okay.
in the first month, October, what's the expenses incurred?
10,800.
10,800. Okay, have you already subtracted the 2,000?
Yes, it's 12,800, and I subtracted 2,000 from it.
12,800, that's the incurred, right? Plus depreciation of 2,000, because depreciation is non-cash item. Then you get 10,200. So now let's see, 10,200. Good.
800.
800. Okay, that's fine. Now let's move on to November.
November. 16,900.
16,900.
900.
Good.
And then December, 12,600.
12,000.
600.
12,600. Good. So that is it. Okay. And is there any other unique payment? Anything that we are going to buy or pay, which is not coming from this?
Said equipment costing 4,000.
There's purchases, right?
For in November 2017.
Okay.
So
okay, good.
That's unique purchases.
Unique purchases. Okay. So here we bring the name. The name. The equipment costing 4,500 purchase and pay for in November, right? So that is it. So 4,500 in November. We write equipment. Equipment. Good. So 4,500 November. Dash. Is there any other payments?
No.
So are we saying that this question is plenty, but ideally there's some free marks in here. So take note for me. Yes, take note for me. Now let's go into our first workings.
Okay.
Now these two, we have to trouble you 2 times, but sometimes we don't do that. So this one, the cash paid to suppliers is a little bit okay than the cash received from credit customers. So that's it. Good. Now workings. Workings 1, cash paid to suppliers. Cash paid to suppliers. Cash paid to suppliers. Good. Now put October here, November here. But don't forget that this question requested for total. So you should create another column and put total here. You sum them horizontally, then you put the total here, okay?
Okay.
Good. Because I don't have enough space for my board. So take note for me. Good. So that is it. Okay, so let's go and calculate the cash paid to suppliers. Now, what are the purchases? Give me October purchase and then November purchase and December purchase. Last week's
October purchase 37,500.
37,500. And then November purchase.
No, 33,000.
33,000. Then December purchase.
27,750.
27,750.
750.
So that is it. Now, I am saying this. Purchases are paid 50% in the month of purchase, and then 50% in the month following purchase. So that is it. Now before, when we pick September, with September purchases, there's a part that will be paid half. The second half will be paid in when? October. And it was given to us as a question. And that is
11,700.
Good. So 11,700. Then we pick October purchases, which is 37,500. We find 50% in the same month. So 50% in October and 50% in November. So 50% of
8
37,500 will give us
18,750.
13,750.
18.
Good. So 18,750. And the same figures will appear here too. 18,750. So 18,750. Good. So that is it. Then
Yes.
we go to November. So November purchase is 33,000. Half of it will be paid in November, half will be paid in December. So what's the half?
16,500.
16,500.
500.
And here to 16,500. And then lastly, December's purchases, only 50% be paid in December. The remaining balance we pay next year. So half of 27,750. That will give us
13,875.
good. So 13,875. Good. And when we are done, we sum all up, then we get the total cash paid. I hope you get that. Good.
Oh, okay.
So that's all for the total cash paid. So to be this plus this for October, this plus this for November, and this plus this for December. Have you seen the arrangements? So like this in that order. Take note for us. Good.
Okay, so October is 30,450.
October is 30,000.
450.
Okay, so 30,450. Good. And November.
November is 35,250.
November is 35,000.
35,250.
35,250. Good. And then lastly, December.
December is 30,375.
30,375.
375.
So 30,375. 375. Good. So, and then you come here, cash paid. Preferred examiner, workings number 1, W1.
So the working, we might show the workings we might show workings as well.
Yes, you have to show workings, very important, because we mark this as a tick for you. So this is yours,
Okay.
this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. This one is yours, this one is yours, this one is yours. Then we come and then mark them here again for you. So normally the total will be ignored and mark them here. So the work is very important. In fact, there's a rule that states that any solution or any answer that you write in your answer booklet, or any figure that you write in your answer booklet, which is not in a question, please tell the examiner how you got it, because these figures are not in a question. Yes, so that's why we are telling you how we arrive at it. So it's very important. But make sure that there's a clear separation between your main solution and the working. Separate it. Don't mix them together. No, it's very difficult. But we didn't ask you for working, we asked you for the main solution. Yes. So, like how we write our report and appendix. The same.
Okay.
Good. So here will be 30,450. Good. Then I should come here a little. Good. Let me put it here. 30,450. That's for the first month. Second month will be 35,250. And the last month is 37,375. Good. Is there any other one you've not find? The Almighty. Cash received from credit customer. That's the terrible one. So let's do that one now.
Okay, let me copy before you clean.
Okay, so copy.
I was paying attention.
Good. So copy the workings. I'll clean the working session.
I should copy the workings instead. Okay.
Yes, only just the workings. Just this session. That's the only side that I'll clean. So get the working.
Okay.
For me. Yes.
Okay.
Good. So that will be workings 2. Workings 2. Workings 2. So workings number 2, cash received. So cash received from customers. So that is it. And before we can do this correctly for this particular question, we have to get the credit purchases, sorry, the credit sales that we are likely or is likely to be received. So the credit sales that is likely to be received, you have to get that one. And then we spread it on the receiving terms or the payment terms. So that's it. So let's do that working probably here. Shortly, that's workings number 3. Wow. Workings within workings. Then, all right, credit sales. Good. Now, give me the credit sales. Let's start from, yeah, we have to start from all the months. August, September, October, November, December. Yes, so I have to get a larger space. I have to get a larger space. Good. So I'll do it here. Good. Okay, start. Okay. So it will be like this. Credit sales. You have to start from October. Good. No, we have to start from August. 2 months of August, September, October, November, and December. Good. So sales are 80% credit. So just click the calculator and find 80% of each month's sales for me. And that will be the credit sales. So August, the sales for August is 30,000, and 80% of 30 is what? 24,000.
42,000. 32,000.
It's what?
Hey, sorry. Oh, sorry. It's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Okay.
August. Hold on.
Good. The total sales for August is 30,000. So 30,000 by 80%. That should probably give us 24,000.
Okay.
How do you get that?
Yes, but what about the depreciation, the bad debt?
Yes, bad debts, we will come to it. We have to find the credit sales, the entire credit sales first. Then charge the bad debt on the total credit sales. Then we get the credit sales after bad debt.
Okay.
After bad debt. If you are okay with percentages, we can use percentage straightforward. But
so let's use this one like that.
Is that?
I'm good with percentage, but let's use this one so that I can follow, I can understand the fundamentals.
Yeah, so let's do this one. But after that, I will still use that one. Just that that one is a bit complicated. So I'll still do that one for you with this. Okay. So now let's go to September. September sales is 36,000. So we have to find 80% of 36,000.
28,800.
Will give us
28,800.
Is that?
28,800.
Good. So 28,800. So for October, 40,000, and then 80% of 40,000, that will give us
32,000.
Good.
56,000.
Is that?
56 for November.
Okay, so 56,000, right?
Yes.
Good, 56,000 because the sales is 70,000 by 0.8. Good. And December sales is 50,000. So 80% of it will give us
40,000.
40,000. Okay, so these are the credit sales. Now, anytime you add your percentages, first 15%, next 70%, next 15%, all add up to 100, and still there's bad debt in the question. This is how you have to do it. Good. So bad debt of 5%. So let's see, bad debt. Bad debt, that would be 5%. So 5% on 24,000, what would be the answer?
1,200.
1,200, right?
1,200.
Good, so 1,200. And then you less it. Then we go to September.
1,440. 1,440.
1,440. Good. And then the next one.
1,600.
1,600. Then the next one.
2,800.
2,800. Good. So, and then lastly.
2,000.
2,000. Now let's see the actual credit sales that will be received. So the actual credit sales that Abigail Champuma will be received or expected to receive in the budget period. So that will be
22,800 for August.
So 22,000, right?
800, yeah, 800.
800. And here to be
here will be 27,360.
27,360, right?
360. Yes, please.
Good. Then what again?
30,400.
30,400.
And then 53,200.
So 53,200. And finally,
and then 38,000.
Good. Now, yeah, so this are the credit sales after bad debt. And these are the ones that we are going to now strike 50% in the same month, 70% in the next month, 15% in the second month. So that's how we are going to do it. So when there was bad debt in this. Here you can, if you want to use just one single percentage to get this value straightforward, then it should be 80% times 95% of the total sales. So if you multiply the total sales by this figure, you will get all these ones. So the total sales for August is so times probably times 30,000. So if you multiply this by 30,000, she give you this. So that is it. But don't worry. Now copy this section for me. Copy just this section.
Okay.
Start the main calculation at top. So I will be needing this,
okay.
this one. That's all.
Okay.
So that is one. Okay. So now let's go up. Then get the cash rate. Cash received from the credit customers. Okay. Now, so you start the August credit sales. So August credit sales of 22,800. Let's see the payment or the receiving terms. First 15% will be when? Will be in August. We don't need August.
Yes.
News. And then 70% will be in the next month. That will be what? September.
September.
Good news. But the last 15% will be the second month. That will be when? October. We need that one.
October.
When you bring August, do your workings. The workings will be 15% times 22,800. So
800.
My workings will worry me. So, hope you can see the workings.
Yes.
Good. So that's it. And the figure will be
3,420.
3,420.
Yes.
3,420. Wow. I hope you have copied this.
Yeah, but I've done the calculation. You don't worry about that one.
Okay, so good. So let me take it off. But worry, it's so 3,420. Good. What about November? So dash. And let's go to September sales. When you pick September sales, the first 15% will be in September, and we don't need September, so we don't worry ourselves. Then we go to the next 70% in the next month, and the next month for September is what? October, and that one we need.
Yes.
So we pick the 70% of
27,000.
27,360, and now give us
19,152. So 19,152.
19,152. That will be when? November, right? Or October?
Yes. Yeah.
October.
That will be October. Yes.
Good. I like that. So that will be in October. 19,152. Good. Then, lastly, 15% will be in when? Will be
in November.
So the 15% calculation. And that will be somewhere here.
Yes.
So that will be.
So that's 4104. 4,004.
Good. So good. Let's see. Good. So it's a 4104. 4,104. Then we are done for September. Yes.
Yes.
We are done for September. Now let's go to
October.
Good. So for October, what happened? The first 15% will be in when? October.
October.
15% will be in the month of October, and that will be 15% of October's credit sales. That's 3,400.
Yes.
So that will
give us 4,560.
So that will give us 4,567, right? Good.
60.
Good. And then next 70%, that will be in November.
Yes,
so
please.
November, 70% of
3,400.
Oh yes, of 3,400. 3,400.
Yeah.
That will give us
21,280.
Oh, okay, so 21,280. Good. So that is it. So 21,280. Okay, so that's the 21,280. That will be for the month of November. Good.
Yes.
Now let's see the last 15%. The last 15%. The last 50% will be in December.
Yes, please. 4,560.
That is it. The last 15%. Now let's move on to November. Now when you go to November, first 15% will be in November. So 15% of November's credit sales, 53,800. So 15% of.
If you did out, it's 800 or 200.
It's 200.
You did down 200, right? 200. 200. So the answer is 7980.
So 7980. Then the 70% will be in December. So 70% of 53 to
37,240.
That will give us 37,240, right?
Yes.
37,240. Good. And we are moving on. Wow. This is this one. Is a camera. Wow. The camera have turned this down. 0.15 times. Good. 532. Right somewhere here. 790. Good. Everything should be okay. 7240. 70. So that is okay. So now let's last one will be December, right? So for December, how do you get December? December will be
December 15%.
Okay, good. December says 38,000. So 15% of 38,000. 15%.
5,700.
So 15%. That'll be 5,700. Good. So 5,700. Good. So 5,700. That's the 15%. 15% of it. Good. So that is it. Now we are done. We add all the 3 months together. Then we are done with it. Now the next of the December, which will be in January and February. We don't need January and February, so we have to end here. Then get a total. So we are going to add 3 items. So it will be starting from for October. The one over here, plus this, the 3. The answer, come and put it down. Then we add from
so
here.
The first one,
21.
The October is 27,112.
27,112. 112. So that is it.
Please hold on. That's August. Okay. The August figure. Hold on. It's 3420.
52 plus 4560. Good. 27,132. 3.
I missed the 2 of them.
It's
okay, so
4,132. So that is it. Now the next one will be
33,364.
33,364. 33,364. That is it.
And December 47,500.
December is what?
47,500.
So 47,500. So that is it. So you transfer them here. This is workings number 2. Good. So first we have 27,132. Then we have 33,364. And finally we have 47,500. But we are done with the wahala. So let's total. Then we are done. So let's do the total.
Only one question.
Oh. It's not done anything, no. Oh, yes, this one is okay. But the troublesome are only 2. Yes, so you'll be fine. So 107,132. Then, hey, no, not at all. Not at all. 35,132. Agreed. 35,132. Good. The next one will be the next one. That's November. 40,000.
Sorry. Let me add it.
Okay.
That will be 47,364.
Good. So 47,364. Then the last one, that's 40,000. That's 77,500. 77,500. So.
Oh no, it's 60,500.
That's what?
Yeah, 60,500.
60,500.
60,500. 60,500.
Okay, so now let's do that. The total for payment. So for payment. So total payment. They're adding like
October 41,250.
Is that?
October 41,250.
Good. So 41,250. And November.
November is 56,650.
November is
56,650.
56,650. So 56,650. Like this. That's so okay. 5250 plus 6,900.
Your line is breaking, so unless sometimes fast.
Good.
Okay, yes, correct. It's correct.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's correct.
Good. Now let's see the last year. That's
42,975.
So 42,975. Good. Now when you get this, then go to surplus like deficit. So surplus like deficits. And the deficit should be in brackets. Good. So total receipt less the total payment.
Mm-hmm.
That will give us
a deficit.
That is a deficit, right? A deficit of
deficit of 6,118. 6,118.
6,188. 118. Good. Then let's see for that's a deficit should be in brackets. Then let's see
for this one.
November.
For November 2 is also a deficit.
Yes, I'm going to do that will be
9286.
Okay. It's 9286. So 9,286. Good. And let's see the last year, 6,500.
That one is a surplus.
Yeah, that will be surplus of
so that one is 17,525.
7125. 7125. 70.
No, 17. 17.
Okay, that's fine.
525.
Okay, so 17,525. Good. Then you bring the open balance. Open balance. Here should be negative. What's the cash open balance of cash from the question?
Please, I think I did a mistake. We jumped something. A grant of 20,000 expected to be received in mid-October.
Yes. So that's why this thing, the bit, so 55,132. Agreed.
132, yes.
Good. So yeah, there'll be a surplus, right? Yeah.
Yes.
There will be a surplus of, so 55,132 less 41250. That's
13,882.
13,882.
Yes.
13,882. Someone's opening cash balance.
8,000.
Balance is 8,000, right?
Yes, please.
Good. So bring the 8,000 here. We add to get a closing balance. So closing balance. So the closing balance will be 21,882. Then you push it here as open balance. So good. So here will be 21,882. And that will be
Hold on.
good. Come again. 12,000. Okay, so that's fine. It's a 2 plus 9, 2. It's good. So 12,596.
Yes, please.
12,596. And that will be open balance over here. So yeah, the open balance will be 12,596. Putting it together, we have
3121.
You said
3121.
3121. So that's the final section. Good. So that's the final section. Don't forget to probably do the total section also for us.
Yes.
Good.